everyone? This is another edition of Rome Knows Nothing. I'm joined again today by my younger brother, Nick.
Hey.
So we got a decent amount to talk about today. There were some things that we could have talked about last time, didn't fully have the time to. Some things that I actually forgot to put down on the list. It's been pretty busy on my end, just with me and my partner are moving here within the next couple weeks, and I've got boxes all over the living room and stuff's just a mess here. So things are a little hectic for me, and this will probably be a weird release time. The last episode that we did as well will have a weird release time just because I failed to quickly edit and upload the audio file, so that was my bad. Once I get moved and settled in and everything, it will become a lot more consistent on that front. So anyways, it's a pretty big weekend. I just got out of work recently. I don't work tomorrow and I have the full weekend off. I have a decent amount going on. I'm going to see Justice League tonight. I have the Yukon Gaming Convention Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Ypsilanti, Michigan. So last year was my first time at Yukon, and it was a great time. I'll probably record a video or two to put up on the YouTube channel, just for, maybe like a Yukon preview and review and stuff like that. So just be on the lookout for that. Punisher comes out tonight at, I don't know if it's midnight or 3. I think it might be 3 a.m. I think so. That they go by at least they used to go by West Coast time. So if something, you'd have to wait until 3 a.m. You'd have to wait in Eastern. You'd have to wait until midnight Pacific time for the Netflix shows to release. So yeah, Punisher's coming out. I will not get a chance to watch any of that this weekend. Possibly Sunday night, but I highly doubt it. I think it'll probably have to wait until next week sometime. Maybe even the following weekend. I don't even know. But with Thanksgiving coming up and everything, I'm not sure when I'm going to get a chance to watch Punisher.
Yeah, I work this weekend, and again, like you said, Thanksgiving week coming up. Not sure when I'm going to have time, but I need to... Maybe if I can set aside a couple hours real late one night, I can try to knock most of it out in a night or so.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can stay up a lot later than I can.
Yeah.
I get up, start turning something on the TV that late at night, and I'll just fall asleep. I can't. If I'm tired, I'll fall asleep. So, but yeah. So the reviews for Punisher, I guess, have been coming out. They've been slightly lukewarm. There's some people that are pretty high on it, but then there's others that are completely trashing it. So I don't really know what to think.
I've kind of just seen the I don't know if headlines is the right word, but the headlines about kind of it being like getting a lukewarm reaction. Mm-hmm. I have been trying I don't want to actually read the reviews. I've been trying to kind of avoid it a little bit because I've personally been very excited for Punisher, and Punisher was my favorite part of Daredevil season 2.
Oh, yeah, I want to say easily.
So that to this day, I've actually gone back and watched that graveyard scene with him and Matt Murdock a couple times.
That's a good one.
So I've been excited, and I don't want to have any sort of I don't want to read the full negative reviews or even the lukewarm ones, and like have any kind of preconceived notion going into the show. I do kind of wonder because I know it was delayed. The release of it was delayed due to some of the events that have happened.
Was the release delayed?
I was told it was going to be. I thought it was supposed to be released like a week or two ago. And that they delayed it is what I was told.
I thought that they just cut something out of one of their trailers, or they cut a scene out of something.
I had heard that they cut something out, but I thought it had been delayed a week or so.
Okay. Yeah. I hadn't heard
but
that.
regardless, I think that, with some of the events that have been happening around the country, I wonder if maybe that kind of is tempering people's like.
I think you're probably onto something there, because
whether they're aware of it or not, if they're kind of like
people don't want to see. I mean, every time somebody turns on the news, they're seeing something, some sort of devastating shooting or something like that. And do people necessarily want to see something that realistic in their, quote unquote superhero TV show? Is that something that they actually want to sit down and see? So, I mean, yeah, that's definitely a possibility. I saw a couple things that, these 13 episode seasons are just too long too. It sort of seems like, maybe an 8 or 10 episode season would be better. So I don't know. I wonder if there's going to be enough substance to last the entire season. Like it might be, might be a good novelty for a few episodes or something, but it sort of seems like there might not be enough to the story, might not be enough to it to kind of last through the entire season.
Which makes sense when you think about it. You have a movie that's 2 hours long and 2.5 hours long, and you're, putting a well-written, like, developed story into there when you're trying to do just when you're trying to do a season, if you're trying to do, and it's, an hour long episodes, 13 hours long.
Yeah, that's a lot of material. It's like, 6 movies or something like that. So, yeah, it's a lot of material. And this show was fast-tracked pretty quick, too. They sort of got the reception and the hype behind the character and behind his appearance in Daredevil Season 2, like you were talking about. And they immediately just rushed the hell out of this thing when it was out, because there was no plans on it before then as far as anybody knew about. So... Yeah, maybe that was a downfall. Maybe they should have let it brew a little more. Yeah. And
I do wonder with it too, because not to spoil any specifics. Again, I know Daredevil Season 2 has been out a while.
Spoil it, man.
So
if it's not like a week or two new, spoil it.
I kind of wonder about, and this is kind of like my expectations and hopes for Punisher were kind of pulled back a tiny bit when I saw the first trailer, actually, and kind of started to get an idea what the plot was going to be like. Because for me, you watch Daredevil Season 2, and I thought that was a fine place to wrap up his origin. You had the court trial where you heard about the heroic stuff he did during the war, and you got that feeling of his frustration and everything with his family. The show ends, and it's like, he is the Punisher. He is. You see him standing there with the vest with the skull painted on it.
How he got there and why he got there.
And they did it really well. They were able to do it without him being like, the show was Daredevil, but they did his full origin arc in a really, in my opinion, brilliant way throughout that season.
Yeah.
But then I was expecting his show to, he's the Punisher now. He's going after, and he doesn't have a ton of like big villains that a ton of people know, but I expected it to be okay. Now he's the Punisher. He's going after mob bosses, or like there's the dude Jigsaw who is in the Punisher Warzone movie. Like I expected him to kind of, now he's in his groove,
right?
But then it seems like they're still going back to, there's an even deeper conspiracy than what we already explored in the Daredevil show. And that, when I saw that, I kind of got a little bummed. I was still excited because I really liked his portrayal of the Punisher, but
right. I wonder if they just felt like they needed to connect it to that Netflix Marvel universe. And not, because all the other shows are just so intertwined with just the characters popping up and stuff. So I wonder if they felt like they needed to do that. They didn't They didn't want to just introduce, or not introduce, they didn't want to just like throw in these Defenders characters and little cameos, but they had to connect it to it somehow. They didn't want it to feel too standalone.
Right.
But I don't know if that's... and that's just me, hypothesizing. That's just me, sort of thinking. I don't know if that's a good idea or bad idea, but...
Right.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. So I'm sure I'll try to finish it as soon as I can, and I know you will.
Oh yeah,
so
for sure.
Once we have some of the Punisher watched, we'll go through and do a recap. We could even probably do an entire episode on maybe not a review, but like an overview, or just like a ranting and raving about the season of Punisher. So yeah, we'll do something like that for you guys. Yeah, there's an Eminem album coming out. That should be out. I don't know if it'll come out at like midnight or whatever. Tomorrow, I believe, is when it's supposed to be coming out. So it's been, what, 4 years since his last album.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was pretty successful, just like everything else that he does. I mean, he doesn't fail in that regard. But I wasn't huge on his last album. There was a few songs that were really good, but then it sort of fell off hard to me. So, like I've said before on the podcast, I wonder if it'll be more like Recovery. I wonder if he'll go back to sort of that. I mean, it was still pretty quote unquote pop, but it was, you know, there was a lot of good structure. It was the songs were good. I enjoyed listening to the songs. It wasn't. I felt with the Marshall Mathers LP too, his last one, he was just trying to be too weird. Just felt like he was trying to be too, like he was trying to like reclaim that like whole Slim Shady thing.
Yeah.
And it didn't work for me. And while I do think that he looks super weird with a beard, I think he looks so awkward with a beard.
Yeah.
I can't get used to it. I don't think I will ever get used to it. He's supposed to be this like baby face blonde. So, I mean, it was weird enough when 8 Mile came out and he had like the brown hair. Yeah. It was just like, what? You know? So he like, and then like he kept doing that. And that, I guess I got used to that. But that beard though, something about it. I just can't get used to it. But, so yeah, I wonder if this new sort of, I don't even know if it's going to be a new persona, but I just wonder if that'll be more like the Recovery. Maybe it'll be something completely different. I do hope that we hear some more upbeat songs than that Walk on Water, though.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was feeling after I listened to the Walk on Water song the first time. I enjoyed it, like it's, you know, but I do hope that there's
so like
some more upbeat stuff than that.
There's just no drums in the entire song. There's not a single drum. And it's like, this is hip hop. We need drums. So, you know, it was cool. I guess like, you know, the content and everything I wasn't mad at, but yeah, we'll see. So I'll definitely be listening to that in all my free time. It'll be a lot easier for me to just turn on a song or two as opposed to like catching an episode of Punisher. Or
watching an hour of trying to watch, 13 hours of the Punisher is a little less manageable than.
Well, even just an hour. Like I just don't know as far as like time chunks, how many like, blocks of time, how long periods of time I'll have that are going to be free during the board game convention and everything. Because I have a pretty full schedule of games. So. Okay, so news and rumors. I guess we're going to go into that. We'll start out with some of the newer stuff, and we're actually going to go work backwards a little bit, just as far as what we're going to end on. It's really not a big deal. It's just pretty funny. I just don't understand necessarily too. And it seems to happen more and more. I mean, The Martian got labeled a comedy. But, as you can probably tell, we're going to be talking about Get Out. That is going to be nominated in the comedy category for the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
And it's like, are they doing this just because, was it Jordan Peele directed it? Like, is that why? Or did they just need somewhere to fit it? This is their way of awarding that movie. That movie will win. I don't even know the other nominees in that category. That Get Out is going to win the Golden Globe for Best Comedy, and that's why they give it the comedy nomination, so it doesn't have to go up against movies like Dunkirk or something like that. That's going to be a hell of a lot harder for Get Out to beat than whatever Girls Road Trip or like whatever I don't know what's
and like I guess it bugs me because I feel like it being put into that category, and especially for that reason, I feel like it almost kind of devalues the movie a little bit.
Absolutely.
And I don't
100%.
And I really enjoyed Get Out. I really, really, really enjoyed it. And like there's some moments of levity in the movie where like
that doesn't make it a comedy.
Right, yeah, but like that doesn't make it a comedy. It doesn't make, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it did a really good job of being very freaky, and when you go through and watch it, there's some subtle stuff that happens throughout the movie that's pretty cool, some subtle foreshadowing throughout the movie. And I just thought it was a really, really good movie, and I feel bad that it's getting devalued like this. I did see a really funny tweet Jordan Peele tweeted, and it was something along the lines of like, come on, Golden Globes, ... get out as a documentary.
That's funny. That's funny.
And I saw that and just started dying. I'm like, oh god, you're great.
Yeah, I mean, like, but Jordan Peele is a funny guy, obviously,
who just is apparently off this one movie, apparently a really talented filmmaker too. And
yeah, I know he's got some other stuff in the works too. Some more serious things that aren't, comedic, like where he kind of got his name or made his name. But so it'll be cool to see what he does in the future. But yeah, I don't get why the Golden Globes think that this is okay. Like, do they think that people can't just see through this?
Right.
It's clearly not a comedy. What are we doing here, guys?
The Martian was more of a comedy than Get Out is a comedy.
Yeah,
easily, like by a mile,
1,000%. And I was outraged at The Martian, and
people thought that was weird, and then it's like, how are you saying Get Out as a comedy is way worse?
I made a big stink when The Martian was nominated as a comedy because it was everything that I've just said. It's not a comedy. The only reason it was nominated for it was so it could win in that, so it could win the award, and it wouldn't have to go up against the the big shot contenders, the real contenders. I guess I've gotten to the point now where I see it again. I see it so many times where it's just like, whatever, it's gonna happen. They're gonna do this shady stuff and whatever.
It blows my mind. Like, what are they gonna do? So let's say it wins. Let's say we're going off this, like, it wins best comedy or whatever at the Golden Globes. Are they gonna ever use that in like any sort of advertising for Get Out? It's gonna be like winner of the Golden Globes best comedy, and then they're gonna like show clips from it. And it's like, what? No, this isn't a What the hell?
No, that's a really good point. Like, how are you? It's tough to market that. It's not like it's you don't say what it won. You just say winner of the Golden Globe for
It's just so weird.
You just don't say what it is. You just say 3-time Golden Globe winner or something like that. So it's silly. It's silly. What else we got? There's a Lord of the Rings TV show coming. Have you read much about this?
Not much. I've kind of seen that the prequel TV show was going to be made. I saw something where someone was rumoring that Peter Jackson was going to be involved with it.
Interesting.
But
okay.
I loved Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, Return of the King. I loved those 3 movies. I actually enjoy them much more now than I did when I first saw them when I was a little younger. I wasn't able to fully appreciate the movies. Especially the first one. I thought the first one was boring when I was young.
Oh, the first one is boring.
But
when you're an adult.
I like them a lot more now than I did then, though. And then I did not, outside of a couple minor aspects of them, I really did not like the Hobbit films.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, so what? I'm just like, can we just leave this universe a little bit alone? Like, you're making some hit video games and you have some classic films, but like...
Well, I don't know if you heard the news either, but it was the son, Tolkien's son, just retired from his position as like chief whatever executive, like top guy for the Tolkien estates. He just stepped down and retired.
Oh.
So now there's a bunch of sort of rumors and reports. People are going to be thinking that there's going to just be a ton of Lord of the Rings type Tolkien material that's going to be made into TV shows, movies.
Right.
There's some now I haven't seen it connected to this prequel TV show that is apparently in the works, but there's some other prequel that Tolkien wrote. It started with an S.
Oh, the Silmarillion?
Yeah, the Silmarillion. There you go.
Okay.
And there's talk about that being made.
Okay, that would be kind of interesting.
Because apparently Tolkien's son and Peter Jackson don't get along at all. They beefed the entire time that those movies were being
That's
made.
that's right. That's actually
Tolkien's
why
son didn't like any of the Lord of the Rings movies. He thought that they, sort of devalued his dad's
the
work.
rumor
And
I saw
everything.
about Peter Jackson, that's what it was. It said, with the exit of Tolkien's son, does this leave room
okay.
for Jackson
Yeah.
to re-enter
There
the
you
Lord of
go.
the Rings universe?
Yep.
That's what that was.
Yep.
Okay.
And yeah, that's probably what they were talking about. So I wonder, that's probably not this new prequel show that's in the works.
Right. It's probably
it's probably just like potentially something in the future
Right.
that could be made.
Right. And I mean, I guess the Lord of the Rings universe, like, I guess there's enough there for them to have a lot of sources to go into.
Mm-hmm.
You have so many different races of creatures, and there's so much history that is behind all of this, like all this mythology you have. I guess there's a lot of material. I worry that it's going to be another one of those things where they're like, let's put out this material, like, now let's get it going. And the quality, like, I'm fine if they put it out and it's good quality stuff.
Right.
But it's like what happened with The Hobbit. That's not a very long book. That could have been a solid movie or two. And
they
then
try
they're
to spread it out, make more money.
I worry that that's going to be their focus, and the quality won't be. The quality will suffer.
At least the legacy of the franchise on film has already been tarnished. It's not going to be like when the Phantom Menace came out. Right?
Right.
You're not going to get that sort of backlash or anything. Even if it's horrid. Even if it's, one of the worst things in the world.
People are like, well, we did just watch 3 Hobbit movies. So,
yeah, we already had some bad Hobbit movies. And yeah, what's funny is that when I was reading a report about this, somebody had mentioned the third Hobbit movie. I don't know if I ever saw the third Hobbit movie.
I did, but I feel like I just cared so little about it that I was... I did see it. I just cared so little about it.
So the end of the second one is when they were all on that, like, sort of town on the water or whatever.
Yeah.
And the dragon came through and was like, wasn't there some sort of, like, fight?
No. The second one ends with Benedict Cumberbatch's Smaug flying out of the cave, and then I'm pretty sure the second movie ends with him escaping. It's like, oh, movie over, and then the third one starts off with the fight at that city.
But there was still a fight at the city at the end of the second one, though, right?
I don't think so. The second one ended with Bilbo inside with Smaug, and then they pour the gold over him or whatever, and then he escapes.
What was happening out in the town when all that was going down?
Luke Evans his character had been arrested or something, and the king of the town was doing something shady, dumb stuff.
See, I'd have to. I really don't think that I've seen the third one. I think I saw the second one and then just completely
you're
wrote
really
it off.
not missing much.
Yeah,
I've seen
I said, I was reading the article and I was like, hold on, there was a third Hobbit movie. And it like completely slipped my mind that there was even 3 of them.
I've talked to people who have seen it. I've talked to people I saw it with. I still have yet to find out who the 5th army is. Because it's Battle of the 5 Armies. Every time I go through it with people, we count 4 armies. And no one can figure out who the 5th army is. An army is...
Yeah, you're talking to the wrong guy here. I don't...
But in terms of this prequel show, I'm an optimistic person generally, and I like to try to give things a chance. It's just... I don't know if exhaustion is the right word, but this sense of just everything that's coming out is just, I don't know. It's just building on properties we have, which is cool, but it's like, I was not asking for a Lord of the Rings prequel TV show. It wasn't anything I wanted or was hoping for at any point in my life.
But people are going to eat it up.
I know.
People are just, people are already like creaming their pants about this stuff. I know. So smart move, I guess, because it's going to make it
from a business sense, yeah.
Because it's going to make money regardless of the quality.
Yeah.
Look at the Netflix Marvel shows.
Right.
You don't think that they made money off of Iron Fist? You don't think they made money off of Luke Cage? These were mediocre to bad shows.
But then you get those on Netflix. But I wonder, because then Marvel goes and does the Inhumans, not on Netflix, and just gets horrid reviews. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has a somewhat okay, like, the fans it has are fans who really like the show, but that even people don't really latch on to.
That's true.
So I wonder if...
And I do believe that there's different people behind those shows. So, like, the people that are behind the Marvel Netflix shows are different than the people that are behind the non-Marvel Netflix show or non-Netflix Marvel shows, who are also different than the people that are behind the MCU, who are different than the people behind the Marvel comic books.
Well, I just wonder if the Marvel, because you're saying people like eat up the Marvel Netflix shows regardless of quality, but they don't eat up the couple shows Marvel's put out not on Netflix. So I wonder with
but
this
they
Lord
do
of the
though.
Rings,
But they do though. People eat that up. People eat up the CW shows.
The CW shows, yes,
the
but
DC CW shows. People eat up the just everything, man. Every nerd property, every geek property out there, every IP that you can think of that is something that's popular that people love. People are gonna eat it up. People are just fiending for nostalgia.
See, I don't know though, because Supergirl wasn't on the CW initially. It was on ABC, and it got canceled off of ABC and picked up by CW because people weren't watching it. I think that's a CW thing.
Well, because everybody thought that this Andrew Kreisberg was like the second coming of Christ.
Right.
And he couldn't do any wrong when it come to making TV shows, and then you come to find out that this guy is sexually harassing people who work on the show. So it's like...
And like, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was extremely close to getting canceled. And it's still limping along now, but
people eat. I mean, sure, maybe people don't eat it up. Maybe that's probably the wrong phrase. It's probably a little strong, but they still eat it up. People, I mean, that show wouldn't be continuing to be made. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. wouldn't be continuing to be made if people weren't eating it up.
Right.
Because they could just take that budget and just put it into a different, like, into different characters that, I mean, just throw a dart against the wall, hope it sticks. Like, they're just...
Yeah.
They can do that. They sort of have the freedom to do that. But...
So, yeah, I guess, it's probably a good business decision for them to make this Lord of the Rings TV show. Just not anything I don't know if I'm going to be able to build any sort of excitement for it, regardless of what they do or who they bring on.
But like you're saying, is it going to be like the Inhumans or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Is it going to be like the Defenders series? Is it going to be like Legion? Like, how is it going to...
If it's like Legion, I'll be plenty happy.
How serious is it going to take itself? Is there a creative behind the scenes that, like Noah Hawley with Legion, that's just going to make a show that is amazing, regardless of what people want, regardless of what people think they want, etc., etc.
That's a fair point.
They're just going to make a damn good show.
I wasn't too excited for Legion or anything. I ended up loving that show. So who knows? Maybe as stuff starts to get released. I mean, I will probably give an episode or two a while. I'll probably give it a chance. But
of course you will. Come on,
it's not anything
you're
gonna
watch. It's Lord of the Rings. You're gonna watch the entire season.
No way, dude. I bailed on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. hard. I haven't seen a single clip of the Inhumans yet. Like
we'll see.
I'm still a fanboy for this stuff.
I bet you geek out hard over the Lord of the Rings show.
We'll see.
We'll see. So. What next? Oh, so you saw... I'm not even sure what the name of this movie is. I forget already. But it's the John Krasinski directed movie starring him and Emily Blunt.
I'm just getting the tagline in my head that says "Silence is survival," but I'm blanking on the actual... I was very wrapped up in the trailer, and I wasn't... Like, when the words came on the screen with the title, I feel like I was already at that point freaking out about the trailer. I thought the trailer was great.
See, yeah,
it got me very excited.
I haven't even watched the trailer yet. I just heard... Oh, boy. I was reading about it, and I sort of saw a couple things just about the movie and about the trailer, and I was immediately enthused, and that's why I just saw it before I came home today, and I had to put it on the list of stuff to talk about.
I just, you know
A
me.
Quiet Place.
Quiet Place, that's right. I love horror movies.
Yep.
When they're bad, I like them because they're fun to just kind of laugh at with my friends. But when they're good, when you get a horror movie that is just a real good horror movie, I go nuts about those. Those are, I love that. And I started watching this trailer.
So the movie is just, I'm not even sure what it's fully about, but it has to do with like some unseen force or unseen something that's terrorizing people in a house, and the way that this being, or the way that this whatever you want to call it, finds the people is when they are making noise.
Yes. And the trailer gives the impression it's not just when they're in the house.
Okay.
You see John Krasinski, like they in the trailer, you see them doing some stuff, kind of adapting normal behavior in small ways to where sound won't be created.
Okay.
Like they have certain areas of the house like painted or something placed down, so when they walk through, their footsteps don't make noise.
Okay.
You see John Krasinski pouring what looks like it's like some sort of powder or salt or sand or something in a trail through the woods, so when him and his daughter are walking along the trail, it's not making noise of twigs snapping or anything.
Right.
So it apparently isn't just something within the house, and you're not really given an indication if it's like something that has eliminated humans in the world or what. You just see stuff, you just see what's happening with this family.
Very contained, yeah.
But it's very interesting. You see the family bust out some sign language, which as someone who don't know it, but as someone who finds it interesting.
Yep.
I really liked that they brought some of that in when they were communicating in the house to each other.
Right.
Just like around the dinner table. Mm-hmm. I like the pairing because their chemistry should be great. They shouldn't have any issues with that.
Right, exactly.
Should, especially with them playing a married couple in the movie with a family, that should help that feel very natural.
But
I hope
if you go throughout history of couples working together in Hollywood, it is famously terrible.
I guess that's true.
Couples break up when they work together, don't they? Isn't this something like that?
They often break up when they don't work together.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that's
well. No, see, maybe I'm a little off base here because I like Days of Thunder incredibly. And
yeah.
Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman were together when they made that movie, I'm pretty sure.
Were they together, or is that where they met?
That might, yeah, okay.
If that's where they met, that's a different story. That's that initial chemistry that,
you're right. You're right. Eyes Wide Shut, that one wasn't terrible. It was just super weird.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. Not terrible, but super weird.
But anyways, yeah, so, it'll be cool to see how they do together. Apparently the movie the trailer looks to be very well directed.
Yes, absolutely.
So I haven't.
It doesn't give anything away for you to watch the trailer.
That's a good one. I'll have to watch that trailer then. Yeah, I can't stand it when trailers give stuff away and spoil things. But I haven't seen John Krasinski's other movie that he directed. I forget what it's called. I had it pulled up a second ago, but yeah, I haven't seen his first directorial effort, but apparently this one's looking good, and apparently that first one that he did was at least decent. So yeah, I'm excited for this one.
I haven't been the last time I was this excited for a horror movie was Get Out, when I saw Get Out's first trailer. And prior to Get Out, I'm not entirely sure when the last time I've been, I often don't get this excited for horror movies, especially just based off a trailer. I tend to be very skeptical of trailers.
Yep.
But yeah, this is one I'm definitely looking forward to. This is one I'm definitely gonna have to keep an eye on. But honestly, this would be my own personal, I don't know if advice is the right word, because of what horror movie trailers often do in revealing things. I personally will not be watching any more trailers that come out beyond this first one. The first one built tension well, kind of sets the stage a little bit for you, shows a few tension moments that look like they'll take place, not at the beginning, but throughout the movie, just a couple quick clips.
Right.
I don't want this movie spoiled for me. especially with this interesting of a premise. So I will be avoiding any further trailers.
Yeah, that's probably some pretty good advice. It's tough to know when you can and can't watch a trailer. You know, you kind of have to have somebody else watch it and then let you know, like, yeah, no, this is a good one to watch. It's not going to spoil anything. But, I mean, at that point, you have to have a trusted source. So, yeah, it's kind of tough. But, so speaking of horror movies, Steven Soderbergh is directing a horror movie, and it is going to be completely shot on iPhones.
Okay.
I don't know anything else about this. I haven't read anything else about this. I just know that I really like Steven Soderbergh. I think he's super talented. He's one of the more creative people that are out there in the industry. And I don't know if he's ever done a horror movie before.
I don't think so.
And
not anything I can think of.
I mean, if it's shot all on iPhones, hey man, that's cool. I think that the horror genre probably lends itself pretty well to something like that. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'll be curious to see it just for that, the whole novelty behind it.
Right. It's something that if it were just some random director and it was just like, hey, this movie's coming out, horror movie's coming, shot on an iPhone, I'd be like, oh, it's kind of cool. With him being the one attached to it, that definitely like is the reason that's the core.
Well, you should watch Tangerine, because Tangerine was filmed by just some random person.
That
was all on iPhones.
I remember you mentioning that
absolutely
to me.
Freaking phenomenal. So it's possible that some no-name person can just step up and do something crazy like that. But yeah, obviously with Soderbergh's name on there, it's going to give you a little more confidence going into it than just having some random person. So,
right.
Yep. But let's see. Moving on. There's going to be another Spider-Man spinoff. So Sony has been doing all these spinoffs or planning all these spinoffs. They have the Venom movie with Tom Hardy that's filming right now. They have, what's that? Silver and Black movie that they're planning on doing, right? With what is it? Who's in that?
Silver Sable and
Black Cat. That's right. And then I think those are the only ones outside of this new Morbius movie.
I think
that they're doing.
I feel like there was one that I heard that was rumored, but I don't know. I'm blanking.
Now I think that Marvel owns the rights to Blade.
Yeah.
I think somehow the rights reverted back to Marvel several years ago after there was no reboot of Blade or anything.
I think so, because they did that TV series following Blade 3, but after that there was nothing. I think the rights are back at Marvel.
So I sort of wonder if Sony is just trying to make this Morbius movie and sort of beat Marvel to the punch and, maybe do that quote unquote Blade movie before they can.
Maybe part of their deal with saying, hey, you can use Spider-Man was, hey, this is going to be part of a working relationship. Maybe they're going to get to use Blade in the Morbius movie.
Oh.
Maybe that'll be part of a working, if they do have this working relationship.
Interesting.
They're like, hey, we're going to let you use like the character if you let us use a couple.
I remember the animated Spider-Man cartoon back in the day that had the episodes with Blade and Morbius.
Yeah, dude.
Those were sweet.
Yeah, Blade had the super deep gravelly voice. I'm pretty sure he had like a flat top and was just the man.
Dude.
He was so cool.
That would be interesting. But I mean, at that point, I guess if Marvel doesn't want to invest the money to do just a Blade standalone,
or if they want to wait to see how people's reception to Blade being on the big screen would be, they would have him be in Morbius and be like, hey, people are still interested in Blade. Let's do it.
I think that might convolute that Morbius movie too much. Maybe not convolute it, but I think it would just overshadow Morbius.
Probably.
To have
I almost
Blade
guarantee
in there,
it.
you know. That'd sort of be like if there was no Daredevil show and they came out with this Punisher series and Daredevil was in it.
Right.
It's like, well, dude, nobody cares about Punisher. We just want to see Daredevil. Like, screw this Punisher guy. We're just trying to see Daredevil, right? So, you know, it might overshadow it a bit much if that were to happen.
These Sony spinoffs to me, are one of the weirdest things I've seen happen since this whole superhero movie kick all came about, back with like Iron Man 1, really. Mm-hmm. This Sony spinoff stuff is so strange to me. Venom kind of makes sense. Venom, because I'm excited for it with Tom Hardy. I love Tom Hardy. I'm excited for it mainly because of that, honestly.
Oh yeah.
But you start getting into characters like, after Venom, your next big pull is Black Cat and Silver Sable as like.
Yeah, see, that's what. And I mean, they're trying to go for the women characters, right? They're trying to just hit a different demographic, I think. Right,
and like I sat, I'm like, okay, I can't even begin to imagine what kind of movie you're gonna craft around these two characters as the main. And then you're like Morbius. I'm like, okay, could be, if you, in my opinion, for it to really be the best it's going to be, you really have to buy into it being it would have to really lean towards horror.
Oh yeah.
It's going to have to lean hard towards horror, because Morbius is not, you're not going to have him doing these crazy superhero battles with people. Like, no one's that interested in him as a character.
Yeah, I mean,
so like it has to be this horror movie, I guess.
I think Venom 2 is going to be pretty dark, and like maybe they're going to try to go this this quote unquote dark and gritty way. maybe they're gonna try to do that.
I feel like I just can't help but feel like Sony's kind of grasping at straws.
See, I don't think this Morbius movie is going to be that dark though, because it's going to be written by the Power Rangers writers.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I mean, compared to the normal source material, I guess it wasn't super bright.
Right.
The Power Rangers movie, but
I feel that it's probably going to be more geared towards kids than what you were thinking that it should be.
Right, probably. I tend to not exactly think along the same lines as a lot of these comic book movie creators.
Well, I mean, it might not even be the creators; it might just be the studios telling them what can.
Yeah, I guess the studios who allow them to.
Yeah. I do think it's kind of funny, like you were saying, all these crazy things that Sony's doing, but they are making money not doing anything. They're making, I don't want to say a shitload of money, even though it is, but they're making a ton of money from Spider-Man, and they're not doing anything.
Right.
All they're doing is saying, "Oh, looks good, Marvel." Hey, Kevin Feige, looks good. Yeah.
Like, hey, Marvel, good job making another Marvel movie. Yep. Thanks for the money.
Exactly. And then they just take some of the profits. And sure, they have to front some of that money too, I'm pretty sure. It's not like they just have somebody else make it. They're somewhat producing these movies monetarily and everything as well. But they're making that money back too. So they're making profit from this, that they don't have to put any money. They don't have to put any of their creatives behind. They don't have to have anybody that's doing anything that's, making any hard decisions. They can just have the MCU do that for them. Yeah. So it's kind of cool that they're like taking these weird chances with Morbius and Venom and stuff. Like they're taking these chances that they probably wouldn't do otherwise. If they were taking risks with their Spider-Man movies, they wouldn't be doing these spin-offs.
True, but part of me worries that with these spin-offs, what they're trying to do is, especially with the comments that were made back when why am I blanking on her name? She's like the head
over at
Sony. Sony, yeah.
Amy Pascal.
Yes, thank you, Amy Pascal. I kept wanting to say Kathleen Kennedy, and I'm like, no, that's not it.
Yeah.
Amy Pascal, she, there was that interview where she made comments about how, yeah, Venom's part of the MCU or whatever, and you can, like, see Kevin Feige's face, and he's like, whoa, wait a minute. And then it was released, well, no, it's the same world, but not the same movie universe, and some weird response that didn't really make sense. I worry that what they're trying to do... what the hell's
going on with it.
Yeah,
She's just collecting a check.
I feel like they're trying to take all of these Spider-Man universe characters and do their own thing with them as quick as they can. So then it's like they're trying to like be a clingy significant other to Marvel. And they're just like, hey, now you can't leave us. Now Spider-Man can't fully detach from us because we have a bunch of these huge characters. They're like, you can't use Venom. You're not going to be able to use Carnage. You can't do Black Cat as a love interest.
But they could though. Why couldn't they?
If Sony makes these movies, they could do it. It would just be a character that is been done and would create confusion and be that whole weird situation. So I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, it wouldn't necessarily create confusion. It would just be, I mean, it's all the same universe.
It not according to Kevin Feige. According to him, it's not.
So, okay. So, actress X plays Black Cat.
Right.
Why can't actress X show up in a different movie in a different universe?
Well, right. She could, especially with the working relationship they have.
Everybody knows her as that character.
There's a part of that
She would have been successful as that character.
Right.
People want to see her as that character.
Yeah.
So they.
I'm suspicious that because they're just currently, I guess, Spider-Man 2 they have rights to, but with them doing all of these characters, like, I don't know. I guess it's just a distrust of Sony at this point, where I just feel like they're not making these movies so then Marvel can use them later. They're doing this because they don't want to let go of Spider-Man. Like, they're hoping that they can do this.
They've already let go of Spider-Man.
Fully? I thought they I thought they let Marvel use him for X amount of movies, but that he was still theirs.
Well, like, whatever's written into the contract and everything is written into the contract already. So, like,
right.
If the contract doesn't say the MC, like, Spider-Man, the character, goes back to Marvel after whatever.
Well, right, that's
like,
what I thought. That's what it said.
If it doesn't say,
or no,
well, no,
sorry,
if
back
they,
to
if
Marvel.
they don't use him, if there's not movies made. So as far as all like these older contracts, like with the Blade we were talking about
Right.
earlier, those were allegedly written as, if there's not a movie made with these characters or this character in X amount of years, then the rights revert back to whoever sold the rights in the first place. So they would revert back to Marvel.
Yeah.
Right. So there's not a Blade movie for X amount of years, so those rights revert back.
Right.
That's why that Fantastic Four movie was made.
Right.
The latest one, the Josh Trank one, was so the rights wouldn't revert back to Marvel. And I'm pretty sure I think that around that time was when the Blade property got sent back to Marvel, maybe. But
that sounds right.
So anyways, if there's something similar for Spider-Man, I don't know how that's written.
Right.
Is it written that Sony has to put out a Spider-Man movie without the support of the MCU for the rights to revert back? Because if it doesn't, Sony is still putting out Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
They have no worries of the rights reverting back.
Right, I guess.
And now I don't know what the contract says.
Right,
I don't
at that
know
point,
if the
it's all
contract
speculation
says,
on our part.
Right. Exactly. I don't know if the contract says something about once we finish the Tom Holland stuff, then we get Spider-Man and Sony's left in the dust.
Right.
But I wouldn't expect Sony would do that.
That's fair. Yeah.
But maybe they are, and that's why they're trying so hard to push their own stuff, their own Spider-Man-esque stuff,
while Spider-Man is
to try to have something stick that they can move forward and build with,
right?
Because they know that they're not going to have Spider-Man in the future. But I can't see Marvel or the MCU doing that deal and not getting the other characters. They'd have to get all those other characters with Spider-Man. If the rights were fully theirs, I would think that they would just they'd want everybody, that they wouldn't be like, oh, we'll just take Spider-Man and you can.
Huh. Who knows? Maybe maybe part of the contract, maybe it'll just become a true full-on partnership with all of the Spider-Man stuff for the foreseeable future. Just everything they do will be shared.
Right.
I guess that's possible. I guess without knowing the details of the contracts that are made between the two, because it is such an odd situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know. It's tough to. You don't know because you don't know, right? It's tough to even speculate because you don't know what the contract says, and it could say, a multitude of things.
Yeah, but I guess with this Morbius movie, like I kind of said earlier, if we're wrong, and if they decide, we're gonna. The Power Ranger writers surprise us, and if they're like, hey, we're going to go the horror route with this movie, that would be something that would make me truly interested in this, because I do like the different kind of tonal changes that you can do with because with superheroes you can do a lot of different tones and moods for their movies. So kind of whenever anybody takes that chance to do that, I'm automatically will give you my interest and probably give you my money as long as it looks all right, because I want to support those tonal changes within the medium.
Yep.
So
I agree 1,000%.
So I will
couldn't have said it better myself.
So I will pay attention, and I will. This is something I'll try to remain optimistic for, and I'll keep an eye on to see what develops with it.
Yep, no doubt. All right, so moving forward, James Franco is going to be Multiple Man.
Yeah,
I don't know where this came from. I didn't realize there was going to be another little X-Men spinoff that was going to be happening. I guess I like James Franco. He's become more and more weird to me as time has gone on.
Disaster Artist looks hilarious.
I guess. You liked that whole The Room cult thing, whatever, a lot more than I do. I can't fathom sitting down and spending 2 hours of my time watching something that I know is complete and utter garbage.
I've actually never seen all of The Room, but for that reason, I've never seen all of The Room. I just know I saw the trailer for the Disaster Artist and was laughing when they released that first clip really hard.
Yeah,
and I like that cast of people. They're funny. I think they're funny. So, but with this, I mean, I like James Franco. I guess I'm too shocked to really have much of an opinion. That was the first thing I woke up to this morning. Was that?
I guess it makes sense that if he's going to join a superhero franchise or universe or whatever you want to say, that he would do something a little more standalone. That he would be doing like a spin-off, right? As opposed to being like a big character in. Now, he had already done that. He's already been a big character in a superhero franchise, right? But that was super early on in his career. So at this point in his career, with all the stuff, with all the decisions that we've seen him make with his career, I mean, it makes sense that he's doing something like Multiple Man as opposed to, just jumping in the thick of things, I guess. But yeah, I had no idea that this was coming. I forget, who did they say that the writers were? I think that it doesn't have a director, but it's got a writer. Let's see. Oh, so it's going to be Alan Heinberg. He co-wrote the screenplay for Wonder Woman, and then he's got TV credits: The O.C., Sex and the City, Grey's Anatomy. So I don't know if that resume. I mean, I guess he co-wrote Wonder Woman, so there you go. But yeah, we'll see what kind of movie this even is. I don't even know.
With the abilities, again, if we're just taking shots in the dark here, if you have a character with the abilities like Multiple Man, I guess it's kind of cool, because there are some things you could do. A cool heist movie with somebody who can copy himself, and when he comes back to his one core person, he has the memories and like the things that those people saw and experienced.
Yeah, you
could do some cool stuff heist wise, or like I don't think they do like a spy movie, but like it's interesting. It'll be weird to see how this develops.
I wonder if it'll be very psychological. I wonder if it'll be like a sort of like a psychological thriller type.
Which again, I could get very behind that.
I could see James Franco doing something like that and just like struggling with that inner demon of having to deal with the. I don't know. I guess I could see it. I could see it turning out well, but
it's one that just. Again, I'm very shocked by this. This was actually the first headline I saw when I woke up this morning about any movies or anything. Mm-hmm. And I was very confused. I was surprised I hadn't heard rumors about this or anything, or that they were doing a Multiple Man thing in the first place.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, it's been getting a little weird as of late, more so in the past couple years. But I like James Franco, and again, I'm one of the biggest comic book nerds around, so it's something that I'll be curious about. And
yeah, see, I will give this one a shot. Probably unlike the Lord of the Rings show, I will actually give this one a shot, and I don't know. It's gonna have to be good for me to continue watching.
Yeah.
I think I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Well, no, shit. This is a movie, huh?
Right. I don't know, man. This is an odd one.
Why is it a movie?
This is a weird pull for me. I don't understand.
This is so weird. I don't even understand what they're doing. Why are they making a multiple man movie? They need to focus on this damn Gambit movie.
Right? That's why I was so confused, because I was thinking, have they already run out of characters? And then I realized, fuck, they still haven't made this Gambit movie I've been waiting on for 8 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time at this.
Because I love Gambit. Gambit's an awesome character when done well.
Right.
This is a weird one.
Yep. This is odd, but I guess we'll continue to keep our, ear to the street and see what news comes about this one. So, all right. So something that we skipped over last week, Black Adam, The Rock is going to be Black Adam in the DC movies. It's rumored that that character is going to be introduced in Suicide Squad 2. So I guess to me, this seems like it just mimics the first one too much. The first movie, they were trying to find this super-powered being. And
right.
In the second one, it just sort of seems like, okay, now we're going to substitute Black Adam substitute Enchantress for Black Adam, and the plot's the same.
I wonder if Black Adam's going to be the villain in this one. Because in the first one, prior to the movie coming out, people were saying it's going to be Enchantress as the villain, but it wasn't stated by them at first.
Right.
I wonder if he's going to be the villain in the movie or the antagonist. I know there have been times in the comics where they've had beings on that power level in the Suicide Squad. They've had Black Adam. They've had Zod was on Suicide Squad for a hot second in the comics. So I'm curious. I think that it makes sense in terms of if they're trying to add some comedy and a little bit of lightness, it makes sense for having the character The Rock is playing to be brought in. Because he's a very charismatic person that people like to go see, who does have lightness to him when he's in his movies.
Well, now you're hitting on what I had been thinking about this. With the sour reception of the first Suicide Squad, I mean, DC knows that The Rock is going to be Black Adam. Everybody knows that The Rock is like the leading man in Hollywood. He makes more money than anybody. So is this DC's way of just saying, hey, go see our Suicide Squad movie by putting The Rock in it? Does it really have anything to do with the characters? Does it really have anything to do with the story? Or are they just trying to shoehorn in The Rock?
I think that is probably the most likely. I think that might be the reason why, because for a while the thing was being said that Black Adam was going to have his movie.
Right.
For a while, it was The Rock's going to have his Black Adam movie. And
I think that they're still planning on the Black Adam movie, aren't they?
Are they? Because I had been hearing updates about it, and I had been hearing talks about how that was going to relate to the Shazam movie and everything. But then I just kind of stopped hearing about it, and I wonder if this is why I stopped hearing any updates about the Black Adam movie, was because they were like, well, we need to save Suicide Squad.
I always thought that they were waiting for the Shazam movie to be more worked out to then do anything with Black Adam, because it seemed like Black Adam was a little more complete or a little more finished of an idea than Shazam. So, I mean, they've had the actor for quite a long time, where Shazam just got theirs. So, I wonder if it had anything to do with that.
Maybe. And they thought in the meantime, this is something we can do with the character to help our other franchise. Which still, I think if that is what they're doing, even if he's not the antagonist, I think something that would benefit Suicide Squad is not having this, I don't want to say but kind of just more grounded. People were cracking jokes when the first Suicide Squad came out about you have this mystical being that's trying to destroy the world, and you're sending a crazy chick with a bat and 2 guns and
Yeah,
a dude
yeah.
who throws boomerangs. Like
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Diablo made sense to go after him. Like,
Right.
cool. If you're part of your thing is that you're trying to rescue Amanda Waller, like it makes sense that Deadshot would go. Like a couple of the picks made sense, but like more than half, like most of the team just had made no sense. So if you were to just be like, hey, Suicide Squad, Joker is messing some stuff up in this place, or Deathstroke is messing some stuff up in this place, like, hey, can you go, you're gonna go take care of that for us. That, I think, lends itself to being a better Suicide Squad movie than having these beings that, especially with Black Adam, are Superman level of,
Right.
without the moral issue about killing whoever. So like Black Adam could just walk down and, oh hey, lightning bolt, you're all dead.
Yep.
So I don't know what they're gonna do about all that, which I really want to like Suicide Squad, but
I sort of think that Black Adam's not going to play a prominent character. I think that it'll probably be more just like they might not even mention him by name. And you might just have this being that they're trying to go find, or they're trying to go whatever. Maybe they're transporting him or something, and then Black Adam breaks out of the transport, or there's gonna be like, I feel like he's not gonna be like a big part, and then probably at the end it'll either be like a beginning of the third act where he's introduced and then there's something, or it might just be a last second reveal with 5 seconds of the movie left where they're like, oh hey, here's The Rock as Black Adam, and that's your big thing. But then they'd still be able to sell. See, but then they wouldn't be able to sell the movie off of The Rock as much. So I guess that would take that away from my theory. And I'm pretty confident in my theory. I'm pretty confident that they're just trying to shoehorn. And it's not even a for sure thing. This is all rumors. But I assume that they're trying to shoehorn in The Rock to bring
they could always
put butts in seats.
They could always pull a Jared Leto Joker situation and display him prominently in advertising, and then have him just not be in the movie as much as everyone thinks he's going to.
Yeah, that's true, but I feel like they probably learned their lesson on that one.
Unless The Rock's on the in on this one, because he's getting his own movie for
true.
sure. They're like, hey,
That's
you're already
true.
getting your own movie, so if you can just be in this for like a quick second,
Yeah,
and make a bunch of money.
The Rock's a company man.
Yeah.
He's not going to go out and express his displeasure like Jared Leto did and would. So, yeah, that's very possible.
So I wonder. I don't know. I don't know a ton about Black Adam as a character. Mm-hmm. Like him, he's a villain who has some interesting layers. So I'm curious to see what they do with him,
right,
as time goes on and with the Suicide Squad movie. But we'll see.
I sort of wish that they would just keep him out of Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
I don't want to see The Rock in Suicide Squad. I don't want to see Black Adam in Suicide Squad. The one thing that I did see, though, was that it could pit Will Smith versus The Rock. I thought that was that made me chuckle. That made me smile. I thought that was kind of interesting to think about. So it's, Ali versus the Brahma Bull.
But you like that.
All right. So keeping with the DC universe, some big news just came out earlier today. Matt Reeves is directing the upcoming Batman. I don't think it. I guess I wouldn't be considered a standalone, but the Batman solo film, tentatively titled The Batman. This is the one that Ben Affleck was supposed to be starring in and directing and writing. Chris Terrio helped him write a draft. I'm pretty sure that was it Jeff Johns that helped him write some too.
Yeah.
So there was all this, effort and time put into the pre-production on this movie. And then everything started coming out with the bad reviews of Batman vs. Superman and Ben Affleck's sort of willingness to be part of this franchise. And there's been a lot that's came out regarding that. And now it's coming out. Oh, so Ben Affleck got taken off. He stepped away from the Batman movie as writer and director. Matt Reeves stepped in. He was the guy that sort of uh, is heralding this or shepherding this Planet of the Apes. That's not the right word. I don't even know what I'm looking for. But this Planet of the Apes franchise, this new one, he's going to be writing and directing this new movie. I think he was helping write a screenplay with somebody. I forget who. Say all that to say that Matt Reeves has now decided that if Ben Affleck decides to step away from the role of Batman, that he has somebody in the wings that he wants to play Bruce Wayne. When I first read this news, there was no report on who this person was, and I just sort of brushed over the report and didn't think much of it. I went to a different website and read their report on it, and the name that was reported was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yep.
Anybody that knows me knows that I am probably the biggest Jake Gyllenhaal fan in the world. I don't think this guy makes bad movies. I think even his movies that are not so great have amazing performances by him. I think that he is the top 3, let's say, most talented actors working. That's actors and actresses. I just believe that Jake Gyllenhaal, he's got it all as far as filmmaking goes. He knows what it takes to, plug himself into roles and, sort of give his all. And his choices as far as the movies that he does are very solid as well. He seems to have his head on his shoulders. He seems to make good decisions as far as the movies and the roles that he takes. He seems to not really just skate by. I don't see performances from him where he just sort of phones it in. He's always putting his all into it. Mm-hmm. So I'm a huge Jake Gyllenhaal fan. I think he would knock Bruce Wayne out of the park. I was thrilled with the Ben Affleck casting, and I like Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yeah, definitely. One of my favorite things that I've seen out of the DCEU, honestly.
But if they were to somehow recast Bruce Wayne and Jake Gyllenhaal were to take over, I can't think of many things that would have me more excited.
Right.
I mean, maybe if they cast Leonardo DiCaprio as the Riddler, or like had been rumored, the Joker. Imagine that. A Batman Joker movie with Jake Gyllenhaal facing off against why am I drawing a blank? Facing off against Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh. Imagine that. Gyllenhaal and DiCaprio facing off against one another in a Batman Joker movie. That would be intense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
that would be nutty.
I
dude.
Personally would rather see him cast as the Riddler.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Sure.
It doesn't really seem like that's an option at this point.
Yeah,
it sort of seems like everybody.
The whole thing with the Joker movies is that I have my own questions about that and my own theory about that as well. But I think that Jake Gyllenhaal is, like you said, everything you said about him as an actor, his ability, his talent, his ability to pick roles in movies that are good. Even if the movie doesn't do great, he always does. I think that he would, like if you've seen quite a few of his movies, the one that I've seen most recently that pops in my head is Southpaw.
Yep. He
has the physicality to where he can pull off the Batman part super well.
Oh, yeah.
He's done roles where he plays these characters that go through different psychological arcs and problems that would be perfect for a character like Bruce Wayne Batman.
Absolutely.
Especially one in this universe that is a little darker. I think that, like we said, we both really like Ben Affleck. We like him as this Bruce Wayne Batman a lot. But if he is not an option, and I'm cool. I really like Jake Gyllenhaal. Before Ben Affleck was announced, we had talked, and we had both said Gyllenhaal would be an awesome one.
Yeah, yep.
You and me both said we thought he'd be a perfect one before Ben Affleck was announced.
Right.
So I'm okay with this. I normally am really upset when there's talks about someone being recast.
especially when you like the
Yeah.
actor in the role that's being recast.
Yeah, but if you're gonna recast it and give me Jake Gyllenhaal as Batman, you're not gonna hear a single complaint from me.
And I think that's
I'll
what
take it.
I think that's the sentiment that I was trying to express. Is just that, like, I love Affleck as Batman.
Yeah.
You don't need to change Affleck as Batman, but if he doesn't want to be there, and there is some talk about him phoning in performance or a performance, so if that's the case, and if he doesn't want to be there, he's trying to get out. I mean, let him leave.
Yeah.
Give me Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Now, if they let Affleck leave, and then they get like fucking Sam from Supernatural or something, like then we've got an issue. At least me. Then I have an issue.
I even like Supernatural, and I hate
I
that
know,
so
I
much.
know,
I would
I know.
hate that so much.
And I mean, that wouldn't happen. I was just trying to pull something out of my ass.
But
that
there are
goofy.
people who legitimately think that. Like, there are people who fan cast, like a lot of people who fan cast that, and no.
Well,
absolutely
I hadn't
not.
heard that one before, but I know that you're a huge fan of Supernatural, and I just thought it was a funny pull.
Yeah, I would hate that so much. That would upset me.
Yeah, so I mean, anything like that. But if you give me Jake Gyllenhaal, sweet. If you give me Joaquin Phoenix, sweet. Like there's a couple guys where it's like, okay, if you give me them as Bruce Wayne, then like, I'm not gonna, like you said, you won't hear a complaint from me.
Yeah.
You won't hear a peep. The only peep you'll hear from me is me probably raving about the awesome performances that these guys are giving. So, but
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm really curious to see what shakes out with this Batman solo movie and just Ben Affleck in this universe and how that happens. They've actually said with these reports, it's came out too that they're probably not going to use the Flashpoint story to like kill off the character and like recast, and they're not going to do something that drastic and that sort of crazy,
Right.
but that it would just be a seamless recast where they would plug in a new actor and
Just pretend like
and
nothing
they would
happened.
pretend like nothing happens, just like they did before with Val Kilmer taking over for Michael Keaton and
Right.
George Clooney taking over for Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
So there was never a mention of it, and I didn't think anything of it when I was a kid.
Yeah. No, I was.
But so yeah, it'll be curious. I'm interested to see what happens with that, and just see what comes out with Ben Affleck and how he's actually feeling, and not just giving some BS answers to interviewers and stuff. So,
Right.
But well, I had it written down to talk about the Dark Universe and how that's probably just dying, and The Mummy was apparently terrible, and they pretty much just forgot about Dracula Untold, and now the writers, these people that were like the head of this dark universe for Universal, are now stepping away from the universe. I feel like it's probably just scrapped at this point, and
They
I
jumped
really
the gun
don't.
too early.
I really don't care.
And I think us not caring kind of sums up the whole thing. I
Yeah.
feel like us not caring is kind of just a summary in itself of the whole Dark Universe.
That's you have a good point there, where people at this point people just don't care because there wasn't anything worth sticking around for. There's nothing worth. You haven't shown anybody anything worth being excited about. Anything that you've shown people to get excited about, you've then shown that they shouldn't be excited about it actually, and then that was just a facade. So, yeah, I don't really care. It'd be cool to just see more of these, Dark Universe movies come out.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be some giant universe thing, and just
Yeah.
put out whatever. Like, I don't care. But I mean, I do like those style movies and stuff, and it'd be cool to see more of them. But as far as the universe is concerned, sayonara.
Yeah. I kind of thought this might happen. Like, it seemed like they were really pushing this way too hard, way too fast, and I saw it crashing and burning.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, that's the Dark Universe. that was the Dark Universe. So we hit on it. This will probably be what we wrap up with today. So I got to get ready for the movie and everything like that. But Last time we mentioned the Rian Johnson trilogy. This is a new Star Wars trilogy that is going to be apparently written and directed by Rian Johnson. He is the man behind The Last Jedi, which comes out just in a few weeks, people. Just in a few weeks. Holy cow. Justice League tonight, and we got like 3 weeks until Star Wars. Man. What a time to be alive. So yeah, Rian Johnson's doing a completely standalone Star Wars trilogy. This is not going to be based on any characters that we know. It's going to be in the Star Wars world, in the Star Wars universe, but it's not going to be a Skywalker story. So I don't think that there's any news or rumors or anything. I don't think there's any talk or buzz about what this could be.
Right, I've not heard
It's very early
any
on.
rumors.
It's very early on, so I don't know what he's planning, but obviously he has a good working relationship with Disney, Lucasfilms, Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
He's obviously got a good working relationship with them. I'd be willing to bet that his working relationship with them is better than J.J. Abrams and the studio.
I wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, they just let J.J. leave, but as soon as Rian Johnson gives them a finished product, they sign Rian Johnson up for his own standalone trilogy. I mean, that's a freaking vote of confidence if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know that the studio was confident in The Force Awakens, obviously. I mean, for good reason. But there's got to be something about this Last Jedi movie that there's something that Rian Johnson brought to the table that just made these people go head over heels.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I'm very excited to see what it is.
I know, me too. And it's like a lot of the trailers I feel like are just playing so hard into certain things, and they're trying to they're really heavy-handed in what you think is going to happen. And I think it's all just a smokescreen.
Which is super funny because
I think it's all just a smokescreen.
Because in the most recent trailer, there's the line where Luke says, and one of the things they're playing into so heavily is that he's talking to Rey as they're fighting. Mm-hmm. But he says that things aren't going to happen how you think they are. And he says something like that, which when you just started to say that is exactly what that's just what popped into my head was that line. And that's him. Maybe that's him talking to the. Maybe that's him talking to the audience. This is not. This movie is not going to go down how we think it is.
Yep. And there's, I mean, just with all the posters coming out with oh, here's Luke and he's the bad guy now, and it's like, sure, maybe that kind of happens in a way, but that's not going to be there's going to be something. Now, when we watched The Force Awakens, they killed off Han Solo, right? Yeah. That was the only thing that was some major surprise. Right. That was the only thing that sort of made you jump out of your seat. Besides okay, cool. It's awesome seeing the Millennium Falcon fly around. Right. It was awesome seeing these things. And there was a lot of things that were amazing about the movie. Yeah. But there wasn't any twist. There wasn't any surprises.
And even with Han Solo,
you sort of knew how things were going to go. You knew that you weren't going to get any answers about who this Rey character was. You knew this going into The Force Awakens. There was no surprise. Not a single one besides Han Solo dying. And even Han Solo dying shouldn't have been that big of a surprise.
People, if you know how much Harrison Ford's been very vocal about how he wanted Han to die in the original trilogy. So if you knew that, that's not a big surprise for you.
Yep. So even with that, there's not a lot. So there's got to be something in The Last Jedi. There's got to be something.
Something that no one is even remotely
This is the Empire Strikes Back of this trilogy.
Yeah.
Rian Johnson knows that.
Or is it Return of the Jedi, the Porgs or the Ewoks? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I think that it's... there has to be something. I am so excited for this movie.
You're going to get more backstory into Rey, probably.
You're going to get more development from Kylo Ren, who,
Yep.
for me personally, I don't care what anyone says. I don't care how strongly people disagree with me on this. Kylo Ren may very well be my favorite Star Wars character, period, potentially,
dude,
based off the one movie.
You're super lame.
There's things about his character
More than
that
Darth Maul? Come on, bro.
I mean,
Come
okay,
on,
I guess having watched like some of Rebels, Darth
No.
Maul does
So,
the added stuff with him is cool. But I
the
love Kylo Ren, and I think you're going to get a lot more with. You're going to continue to get a lot more with him too, which has me super excited.
That Gendy animated stuff, the Clone Wars or whatever,
Yeah.
just that like the little like 10-minute episodes that
Oh,
were then
yeah,
put
yeah,
together in the 2 discs or whatever.
Yeah.
Mace Windu in that was dope.
He-
as
that's
fuck.
fair.
He was
Mace Windu was
Mace
sweet
Windu
in
and
that.
that was slicing
He was
dudes
so
up.
cool.
He was going through those
Yeah.
clones, just slicing them
That's
up.
that's
That was
fair.
so sweet. So like, yeah, that's probably my favorite Star Wars character. But Kylo Ren, favorite Star Wars character. That's crazy. I think you're probably the only person over the age of 18 that said that.
It's because
You might be the only person over the age of 18 who has seen Star Wars before The Force Awakens who thinks that Kylo Ren is probably even arguably your favorite character.
Yeah.
You might be the only person in the world.
For me, he's the only character. Like when I go back and watch Star Wars and like watching the original trilogy, there was this whole like, oh, and the first time I watched the original trilogy, there's like this, they're trying to get Luke to the dark side. And like, I not once for a single second upon watching that series in my whole life ever thought Luke might go to the dark side. I was like, Luke's the hero. He's the hero. Darth Vader
So
being
I
at
hope
the
that
end.
I hope that him going to the dark side in The Last Jedi isn't going to be the big shebang.
Right. And like
Can't be, it can't be.
with Kylo, I loved that he was a bad guy who wasn't this, even though he had the mask on for a good portion of it, like I dug that he wasn't just this stoic, stone-faced, emotionless villain. Like I loved the touch of him having those tantrums where he'd just
Right.
like slash up those monitors and then turn his
No,
lightsaber
you're
off
right.
and say something. His character was so interesting, and it's like easily the character throughout the trilogies that I've most bought into actually being conflicted and having inner conflict
Yeah.
about
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
Which
I'm-
is
I'm
for
with
me
you.
what I
I can't knock any of the points you just made.
So when I say
and
favorite character, I
agree,
guess
yeah.
that's what I mean, is that like he's the least. This is like there's so much room for growth with him in a way that I never personally
Okay.
experienced with other
Right.
characters.
Right.
And I love that growth. That's
I'm
my
with
favorite
you.
thing.
I'm with you on that. I'll give you that. I just can't get over the opening night of The Force Awakens. We haven't seen a Star Wars movie in, who knows how long. We haven't seen a good Star Wars movie in like 30 years or something, right? So I still can't get over the first time that Kylo Ren took his mask off and 3/4 of the audience were laughing. Because it was this like, it's like, hold on, that's the guy? That's the menacing, like, because the whole time in the original trilogy, you're not seeing like Darth Vader's face.
Right.
So there's never a point where you're like, oh, that's it? That's this menacing figure? But then they like give
Right.
you that right away in The Force Awakens. And it's like,
I think-
really? This little boy is like this menacing figure?
I think part of the issue with that is that like it was released so early that Kylo Ren was Adam Driver, and like
Right.
everybody knew that it's like there's
Yeah.
no point in him leaving. Everyone knows most people know what he looks like already. Like there's no reason to keep the mask on all movie or anything. Like what they're like, it's
But
not like
why?
it's going to be a
Why not?
surprise.
Why
when
did
he
they
takes it
have?
off.
Why did they have to cast him? Don't take it off. Why does he have to take the mask off at all?
I guess that's true. That's fair.
I mean, he doesn't have to take the mask off at all because his face isn't burnt to a crisp like
Right.
Anakin's was, though, right? So, like, I
Right.
guess that's why he can take the mask off. Hopefully, his face just gets more scarred up so we can just keep the mask on. And then I'm sold. You keep the mask on, Kylo, and
Unless-
I'm about it all day.
Unless,
but
unless the reason they cast him, the reason they're cool with him taking the mask off, is because hey, they want your heroes to be pretty. Maybe he's not going to be evil Kylo Ren for long.
right.
Maybe
I mean, he is the son of Han Solo and Princess Leia, right? So-
maybe he's going good at some point. Maybe in the Last Jedi who knows? There's so many theories out there. Like
Yeah, no, you're right.
Maybe that's why they cost.
Ray's the big bad, and Kylo is the.
Maybe that's why they cast a handsome Kylo Ren, and cool with him taking his mask off.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
there's got to be something big that happens with John Boyega's character, right? That happens with Finn.
There has to
They
be.
can't just have like he really is just the token black guy.
Yeah, at the moment, for sure.
He's just this like side character that's like, well, we needed somebody who's black, so
yeah,
here he is. Like, here's a character that fits into the story but doesn't mess with like the family ties.
Right. I really hope they do more with John Boyega than that, because I really like John Boyega.
maybe him and all this talk about like Rey and Kylo. Maybe it's maybe Rey and Finn are brother and sister or something.
Oh man, that'd be weird. Turn these Star Wars movies way weird.
Who knows, man?
But so with this and with this obvious confidence and whatever special he's done with this movie that we're so amped for, that we just trailed off because we're so excited for this movie.
Yeah.
With us being this excited, like, dude, I'm so down for not standalone, but for his own separate non-Skywalker set of movies. I said earlier about Lord of the Rings having a lot of mythology, that's true of Star Wars. There's, especially with them getting rid of the extended universe books. While that does make me sad, because there's a lot of great material, I would encourage people to go read some of those books if you really want some cool Star Wars stuff. But there's so much material for him to play with. Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, I think that even the Skywalker stuff, so like even, like The Last Jedi, this episode 9, these are all going to play with that extended universe canon, or uncanon now. I think that a lot of the characters that we see are sort of plays off of other characters in the EU, like in that extended universe. That
for sure.
So they're playing with it a little bit, but obviously, if you take a completely separate standalone movie, you can do whatever you want. And Rian Johnson is a super creative. That he's an idea man. I mean, he made Brick and Looper, so like that guy's got ideas up the ass. So I'm sure that he doesn't want to be tied to just another universe. He doesn't want to be tied to future directors and future filmmakers and everything. So I think this is perfect for him. I think it's perfect for Disney and Lucasfilms. I mean, I think that this is a better route to go than the sort of like anthology movies that they're doing with Rogue One, Han Solo.
Absolutely.
I think finding a director and a filmmaker that they can latch onto, like Rian Johnson, and having that person get the support and the confidence to just do their own.
This is what I was hoping for from the anthology films, was something along these lines, where it was just going to be someone playing in the great universe that was created.
So we're both super excited for the Rian Johnson trilogy, and obviously we'll be keeping our ears peeled, trying to find out any more rumors or anything that's happening with that. We're just about the hour and 30-minute mark. I need to go and get ready for the Justice League movie tonight. I still have not ate yet either, so that's gonna have to happen. But so thanks for listening, guys. Nick, thank you for being here and recording with me. Yep, always. So check me out on all the social media. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Rome Knows Nothing on all platforms. And like I had said earlier, there's going to be some random release dates here for the next few weeks probably, and it's not going to be as consistent as I would like them to be with my impending move. But after the next few episodes, things will start to smooth out, and I'll start to get a more stringent release schedule for you guys. So once again, thanks for listening, and I will catch you back here next time.